it's Leslie Meredith with Breakbulk Events and Media. I'm joined in the studio by Patrick Bohan from Port of Halifax and Sheets Harbor. Welcome.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so you're our representative from Canada.
Yes, I'll be on the panel talking about what we're doing in the Port of Halifax and the Port of Sheet Harbor with the breakbulk sector, and we're excited about the outlook on that.
Absolutely. Now that's on the eastern side of Canada, right?
We're right on the Atlantic Ocean in Nova Scotia and closest major ports to Europe. We have a number of our partners are here at the show with us from general stevedoring firms and specialist forwarders. And we're here promoting the partnership in the supply chain that these firms provide through our port and to talk more about the interesting projects we have handled, the track record of labor and suppliers working together, handling all kinds of challenging freight successfully for a long number of years.
Well, that is fantastic. So tell me the most interesting project that's come through the port recently.
Yes. In recent years, there have been large pieces coming in for the shipbuilding project in Halifax, which is one of the biggest programs to re-equip the Canadian Navy with a new fleet, and even more recently, the Canadian Coast Guard. So there's a lot of activity going on in Halifax on shipbuilding.
Interesting. So, what kind of cargoes would that entail?
Well, they bring in all the major components, the steel to make the ships, and engines, and all kinds of hardware. In fact, prior to that, they brought in equipment to rebuild the shipyard to build the ships and brought them in through our terminal in Halifax.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. That sounds like a lot of work for people in the area.
Yeah, it is. Over 2,000 people working there building these ships for Canada. And energy industry is another big one. We've handled a lot of large pieces for energy generation projects on the east.
Oil sands?
Yes, pieces for all across Canada. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what about, we hear a lot about pipelines across Canada. How about that?
Yeah, we've handled everything you can imagine in terms of pipe components and transformers, generators, crane equipment, this type of thing, and we've invested in the infrastructure to make it a better place to consistently, reliably come in year round and conduct these heavy lifts and move them onto the rail system to reach throughout North America.
So, is that a challenge in the winter?
Winter always presents some issues, and we work quite successfully because we don't get a lot of snow buildup, and although it can get cold, the water never freezes in Halifax Harbor or Sheet Harbor, so they're ice-free ports, accessible year-round, and it's a big advantage to keep the supply chain open.
Absolutely. Yes, we heard this morning about the northern route and getting that to a point where it can be transited year round.
So, yeah, we are open year-round. That's our claim to fame. On-dock rail connections throughout North America, 5 different multi-purpose terminals where ships can come in, and as well liner services in Ro-Ro and Conroe that come in every week on a scheduled basis. So especially between Europe and the east coast of North America, a lot of options available in our port.
Absolutely. It sounds like you are busy.
We are a busy port, and we like it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's look ahead in the next year or two. How do you think volumes will develop?
Well, we're anticipating good things with Canada and the EU have a free trade deal. So on that transatlantic trade lane, Halifax is well positioned to benefit from the trade growth. And, looking ahead, we're making the investments in the technology to keep the supply chain transparent and to give people the tools to predict and plan.
Can you give us an example of that?
Yes, we have a port operations center that anybody can go to and look at the ships arriving, what time. They can trace cargo. They can look at all manner of tools in terms of logistics tools with truck traffic and rail transit and this type of thing. So, and we're investing to give people more of that over the next year.
Well, that will be very important and keeps you well positioned as, time passes and volumes increase. So that's great.
Yeah, increasingly the technology infrastructure is as important as having good physical infrastructure in the port, and shippers and cargo owners are telling us we want more of that. Make it available to us, through digitization and web access and this type of thing. So it's the way the world is going.
And so is your port.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a different question. Okay. All right. So, Patrick, you've been with us for many years, a big part of Breakbulk events. How has your experience been this year?
Yep. So the Breakbulk show is bigger than it's ever been, and the sheer volume and quality of people that are attending the show make it an important date on our calendar. I think we've been at over 10 in a row here in Europe, and it seems to be getting bigger and better each year as time goes by. So we're looking forward to being back next year as well.
Excellent. Good to talk to you today.